we're going to be introducing our very first keynote speaker. It's an honor to introduce Pierre-Nicolas Hurstel. He'll be talking about From Hype to Purpose. Give him a round of applause.
Whoa, GM everyone, how are you? Good? No, I can't hear anything. Again, how are you? Okay. So, really great to be back here at Le Grand Palais. First of all, I would like to thank you all very much for joining today a conference that is not about AI. Thank you very much for being here. And for proving by your presence and the vibe that we've already been feeling all week that this movement is more vibrant than ever. A movement, yes, but an industry, no. An ecosystem, maybe. We need to become a strong industry, and we are not there yet. We need to become an ecosystem with interdependent players, creating value for all stakeholders. And today, I would like to propose a path for us to reflect on. A path to answer the two main questions I think we should have above all others. How can we go mainstream? How can we touch everyone? I would like to propose that we go from hype to purpose and redefine the way we use Web3 and NFTs for the next billion users. So if we step back and zoom out, despite the ups and downs, there is an underlying pattern in the technology cycle. In 2021, Web3 reached its peak hype. In 2022, it faced reality check. But we're resilient, and we're on the path to understanding and progress. 5 years after the initial hype that showed the world that tokenization had an incredible potential outside of financial use cases, the infrastructure has improved and the participation has increased. Real-world use cases are emerging. Regulations are structuring the landscape, making it clearer to navigate and also safer for all users. We're achieving greater stability, and the overall trend is clearly up. So this is the big picture we need to keep in mind. NFTs have great properties. The question is, are we using them to their full potential? Are we focused enough on trying to solve critical issues and pressing challenges? So I would like to suggest 3 directions we, as builders, should consider to increase our reach and focus on issues tokenization can solve in ways no other technology can. First, dematerializing. Second, deplatforming. And third, decoupling. So let's unpack this. Dematerializing. As people call it this day, real-world asset tokenization. Are we working enough on the benefits of NFTs as a primitive data of the internet? What current things can NFTs augment? Pretty much everything. IP, identities, credentials, proof of purchase, proof of belonging, art, or real estate. Why dematerialize? By tokenizing the ownership of an item, we turn it into a native component of the web with its own digital identity, which natively lives on the network. Identity management. When do we tokenize our vehicle registration? The cumbersome processes of proving identity, transferring ownership, dealing with government bureaucracy would become a thing of the past. This could be facilitated on-chain, reducing paperwork and streamlining verification processes. Educational credentials. Employers could quickly verify the legitimacy of diploma, resulting in increased trust and smoother hiring processes. Tokenized credentials could be used to safely log in to online services and sign in documents, boosting security and cutting down on the reliance on traditional username and passwords. Consumer goods. Today, we juggle all types of documents in bulky, vulnerable folders. Client accounts don't record activities after the first purchase, such as maintenance or resale, and this proof of purchase is recognizable only by the brand. With an NFT e-maintenance booklet, for example, We can dematerialize all documents and record everything with one trusty passport, providing a verifiable history and enriching brand services. In real estate, NFTs can ensure compliance with sustainability regulation. They keep everything transparent by digitally tracking material, energy usage, and emissions. Plus, they can represent energy credits for a project, and this can be transferable. This means developers can either offset their carbon footprint or capitalize on surplus renewable energy, for example. So applications of real-world asset tokenization go on. But in a nutshell, tokens are making things more efficient and transparent with higher liquidity. Second topic, deplatforming. On this very stage, a year ago, I gave an opening keynote titled The Era of Self-Owned Data. The topic is more current than ever. Platforms are eating the world. The once open internet has been dominated by a few giants that set the rules for how we do business and interact online. In a time where data is king, tokenization and data ownership have potential to liberate users and brands from centralization, returning data to data owners, redistributing value to the value drivers, empowering users over big tech interests. Lens, for example, is a protocol focusing on creating decentralized social graphs in which you have complete ownership of your profile, connections, posts, and data, building a world in which we can easily switch platforms with our data. So what does data ownership means? For users, it means we no longer have to sign our data off to the black box of centralized platforms. We own our data. We can choose to share it at will. For the creator economy, it guarantees a fair value distribution between creators, communities, and builders. For brands, owning their data will become critical. When brands own their social graph, they can connect to their users without relying on big tech. It is a paradigm change in the way brands will manage customer data. Instead of collecting or renting data, brands should start to work on distributing it. So obviously, the end of the hype, the lack of equipment of end users, the immaturity of Web3 apps for everyday use cases are making this challenging. But the potential impact is tremendous. What is the cost today of collecting, storing, securing, renting data? What will be the impact of this increased dependence in the long run? Being able to reach and engage directly with users because they own a product, for example, and no matter where or how they got it, will reduce acquisition costs. In a world where digital marketing costs are skyrocketing, having data is critical, but owning it is neither sustainable nor efficient. The only durable solution is to put data back in the hand of users. And this is not just about cost and efficiency. It is a major opportunity to future-proof ourselves from dependency on existing and future tech giants. Decoupling. The last aspect I'd like to address is how the generalization of dematerialization and deplatformization can contribute to the shift towards circular economies by decoupling growth from first-hand production. So I'm sure everyone in the room remembers when royalties were enforced in the NFT market, the strength it gave to creators and brands to decouple their growth from the creation of new collections, to be able to generate revenues on the secondary market. Obviously, all of it was certainly exaggerated and, as a result, inefficient. But it is an interesting example. Today, customers are participating in resale at unprecedented levels. The fashion secondary market, for example, is projected to reach 8% of the European apparel market by 2026. The thing with the resale business, when products are not digital, is the need to process billions of one-of-a-kind items, driving significant costs, labor, shipping, sorting, authenticating, tagging. The seller journey is cumbersome, raising the barrier to listing and decreasing participation in the circular economy. And not only they are not involved financially, but brands don't have the data. You remember receiving an offer for this NFT that you bought during the bull market without even having to list it and accept it in one click. Can you imagine if that was possible for cars, watches, appliances, fashion items? On the regulation side, the impact is going to be critical for industries in which proving that products are repaired, reused, recycled, and resold is going to become mandatory. On brands and retailers' side, understanding, monitoring, incentivizing is impossible if you don't follow what happens. And to follow, you need to know and understand. And for that, you need data. The dematerialization of durable goods can create this data infrastructure, enabling the emergence for circular business models focused on services and secondary markets. Shouldn't we all contribute to create a world in which we produce less and focus on durability and community? One industry is taking the lead right now, watchmakers. Breitling, AWC, Panerai, Vacheron Constantin have tokenized their whole production. And several others are scheduled to put 100% of their products on chain in 2024. This will bring more than 30% of new premium watches on chain by end of the year. With real-world assets tokenized, they become native part of the internet. With common standards, they are cost-effective to integrate at scale by marketplaces. It's now easy to retrieve product info without having to connect to various information systems, removing friction to list products and making selling a lot more seamless, increasing trust from buyers while limiting the degree of intervention required from marketplaces. All the history of the asset is available to anyone: composition, repairs, certification, change of hand. With this infrastructure, we can envision a future where brands earn royalties every time their products are resold, increasing the incentive for brands to make durable, long-lasting products instead of racing to production, acquisition, and obsolescence. Real-world asset tokenization has the potential to accelerate the transition away from a growth model focused solely on new products sold and to move towards a circular-centric approach by shifting incentive and contributing to the profitability of circular business model. In the initial hype, many adopted a tokenization-first approach. But now, as technology matures, the focus is shifting. It's about leveraging this infrastructure, this transformative technology, to address business issues. By dematerializing real-world assets into NFTs, we unlock new avenues of ownership and verification. Deplatforming centralized authorities empowers individuals and brands to take control of their data, fostering a virtuous ecosystem. Decoupling growth from first-hand production through NFTs promises both environmental and business benefits. So what actions are we or you taking to contribute to these three objectives and onboard the next billion users to the Internet of Ownership? So whether you're in finance, retail, art, gaming, or any other field, consider harnessing the powers of tokens. Use them as tools to foster transparency, instill trust, and ultimately reclaim your digital sovereignty. Thank you very much. I'm Pierre-Nicolas Hurstel, CEO of Arianee, and I wish you all a fantastic conference. Have a good day.